All right, welcome to another Dragon Plus live stream. We are thrilled to be back for another edition of Dungeons and Doodles.
Doodles!
We have some more victims slash guest artists today, as well as our returning champion, Stan! Exclamation point.
That's me.
So again, if you're tuning into Dragon Plus Livestream, this is where we discuss more of the content heading into each issue of Dragon Plus, our free online magazine app available on iOS, Android, and as always at dragonmag.com. Dragon Plus issue 21 is out now. Issue 22 will be coming the week of October 8th. In each issue, we always reserve a cartoon segment and include the compiled cartoons from our Dungeons and Doodles. So,
and no one has risen up and overthrown you yet.
Not yet, but you are secretly creating material for the next issue of the magazine as we speak. So, Stan,
it's not just fun, it's content.
It's right. Yeah. It's not just fun, it's work.
Should have read the fine print.
Stan, good to see you as always.
Good to be seen.
Glad that you're back here. And where can folks find out more about you and your stuff?
I'm on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, all at StanX. And then I have a website, stanx.com. Right now it's almost all filled with sumo, which you may find interesting too. I sure do. Nice. But if you're looking for D&D or cartoon stuff right now, it's a little light.
But sumo heavy.
Yes, sumo heavy.
And next to Stan, we have Matt Warren.
Yay!
Hi.
Welcome, Matt. Woo-hoo. And what do you do here at Wizards of the Coast? I don't think we have had you on, of course.
I was on Morkind's Mayhem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I battled against Shelly as a noble, and I lost, and that was the last time I was ever in the studio until today. Wow. So there's a lot of history here. It's very sad.
Well, there's consequences.
A lot of memories. Yeah. I wasn't allowed back here.
You better doodle your butt off.
Yeah.
All of your doodles today about that fight.
Yeah. a lot of restrained fury.
But your role here at Wizards.
I'm a producer at Wizards. I was producer on Dragon Heist, Dungeon of the Man Mage, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. And I've been here about 8 months now, 9 months.
Thankfully, all products we can actually announce.
Yes, thankfully, all things I'm allowed to say.
Right. I was on like,
yeah. I've been doing things. Don't worry about it.
And in your prior life, you were a political cartoonist?
Yes, as a political cartoonist for a couple of very small newspapers. There's a lot of stories there, and not a lot I can actually share here. I'm not a very political person normally, so that was a fun break from that.
So small newspapers like for gnomes?
Yeah, so back in college, it's the tiny halfling newspapers. A lot of gnome-related political humor.
It can get down in the mud with the gnomes.
Yeah, they're brutal people.
Wow. Scary. You didn't know what you were in for, did you? And, welcome back, Matt. And for the first time, welcome Max Marshall. And
yeah!
Woo! Max, what do you do here at Wizards of the Coast?
I am a 2D, 3D production artist.
And what does that mean exactly?
I make 3D objects, I make 2D objects, I animate, I do everything that artists do.
Including doodle.
Including doodle, non-stop doodle.
If I'm not incorrect, it said on your site that you were doodling on your honeymoon?
Yeah, when I'm nervous, I doodle. And unfortunately, my wife was just sort of bowled over by the amount of doodling that I did on our honeymoon.
Not a euphemism, actual doodling.
This is actual doodling. Well,
were you nervous on your honeymoon?
Yes. What?
It's the honeymoon. It's over. You've done all the hard stuff. Now that's relaxed time.
Yeah, the only thing left is a lifetime of marriage.
Yeah, lifetime. So, yes. But we went to a castle, so it's sort of okay because I could doodle the castle things, and I did very, very beautiful things.
Well, from the D&D brand, we fully support and endorse that honeymoon location.
There you go. There you go.
Which castle was it?
In near Michigan, near Ohio.
All right.
So, yes.
So it was a recent castle.
Yeah.
It's a recent,
It wasn't.
more recent, yes, yes.
medieval.
There were no
Ohio.
kings that stayed there.
No.
All right, well, we've got a couple of topics that we've asked our artists to get ready to doodle. So let's get to it. We've got some community chat suggestions coming up for the second. But for the first one, we had Druids Gone Wild Shape. Oh, man. I remember when we came up with the topic name for that one. I'm still not proud of it, but
You got to live with it.
gotta live with it.
It's
Druids Gone
forever
Wild
now.
Shape. Normally, Wild Shape lets druids transform into any beast they've seen. What if it was any beast they could imagine, or I suppose anything they could imagine? Draw an unusual or unfortunate creature that a very imaginative druid might transform into. And I think we even just broke the rules right there. It could be, what else could a druid transform into if they wanted to?
That they can't now.
That they can't now.
They can now.
Well,
Well,
an
yes,
imaginative
yes.
druid would take advantage of Wild Shape to perform what party trick? As all druids use Wild Shape mostly for.
Something they could turn into if they tried hard enough.
Exactly.
All the other druids are just lazy.
So really quickly, while our artists are drawing, thanks to Pelham for setting up our new camera array. So we're going to be taking some closer and higher fidelity shots of the artists at work for this time. And instead of passing our finished pictures to Pelham this week, we'll be passing them down to Stan. Again, a little bit of news and announcements as our folks are drawing here. Dragon Plus is available now for free, iOS, Android, dragonmag.com. Dragon Plus issue 22 will be available October 8th or darn near thereabouts. It's our October-November issue. So we wanted to do a bit of content involving costumes. So we've got cosplay interviews with David Baxter, Michael Coleman, TJ Storm, and Vivid Vivka, who was doing the Black Viper at the Stream of Many Eyes. And TJ Storm, super cool mocap artist and dungeon master in the Los Angeles area. We have some art interviews with Tyler Jacobson, cover artist for Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and Cynthia Shepard, cover artist for Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We'll be looking at Betrayal Legacy with game designer Rob Davio, and Axis and Allies and Zombies with Scott Van Essen. All that and more. A special feature on using Dungeons & Dragons to help teach kids with learning disabilities. This was a bit of carryover content from our current issue, teaching kids Dungeons & Dragons and teaching younger players. But we had a great interview with a teacher who was using the game to help teach kids with learning disabilities. We wanted to pull that off for a special feature on its own. Plus, Best of the DM's Guild, some magic items involving Yugoloths, using Magic the Gathering cards in Dungeons & Dragons, tales of memorable character death, new fiction, and even more. So lots and lots
even
of
more,
even more stuff.
Even more new fiction,
Even
new
more-
fiction, and even more new fiction.
And even more stuff. It's usually
so much new fiction.
even more content that we try and pack into each issue's flat plan, our schedule of content until it breaks and we realize we've gone over page count yet again, and, which has been a regularly recurring issue, but we want to get in a lot of content.
There you go.
So again, our artists Stan, Matt, and Max working on Druids Gone Wild Shape. Normally, Wild Shape lets druids transform into any beast that they've seen. What if it was any beast that they could imagine? Draw an unusual or unfortunate creature that a very imaginative druid might transform into. While they are completing their pictures, I will reach out to chat We're going to need some suggestions for the next question. And we can get either a monster or a character class. So we're looking for a big pool of monsters or character classes, your choice. And we'll be offering those for our artists to choose from for our next question. Or, yes, or you can, or you feel free to combine them as Lauren Urban has just done. And who knew she would pick the flump?
Nice.
Unpredictable. That would never happen.
The most perfect creature.
Is it though? But is it? So yes, the Flump Warlock is a new monster class combination.
Who would make a deal with a flump?
If the Twitter polls hold up, I've got Shelly Mazanoble bought. I'm playing in an Extra Life game on November 3rd, and Shelly bought my companion that my character is required to bring about with them at all times. And
Nice.
Flump with a accent and mustache is the top candidate. Here they come. So yes, looking for monsters, looking for classes, independently or together. What the hell? We'll take them all.
We got this.
All right. Done. Woo.
So fast.
I don't promise it is good. I promise that it's done.
It's done.
Fast and furious. That's
Deadline achieved.
All right, Stan, what are we looking at here?
We have a, well, it says it right on top. It's a Unichulicorn.
Oh,
That is delightful and disturbing.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. So yes, if your druid is looking for their next party trick, I gotta get this right, Unichulicorn. Nailed it, Unichulicorn.
That's why I
First
put the
try.
hyphens in
Well
there.
done.
It makes it easier.
But ask me to pronounce sphere, and I'll screw that up every time.
Wait, which one am I asking you to pronounce?
Sphere. I could never
Sphere?
pronounce sphere. I always
sphere. Spherical.
I always pronounced it spear.
Spherical.
I pronounce Munster, and my friends would all make fun of me because
I worked with a
they
guy who
would
did that
say
too, and everyone made fun of him.
Munster. Thank you.
Maybe you were referring
each
to
other?
the show.
Huh?
Yes.
No.
It's
I did a 10 by 10 tune where that was the gag.
The Munsters?
Well, it was you were doing summoning, and the pronunciation is very important. Summon Munster, and it was just had a circle filled with a big block of cheese.
Nice. Well done.
That took me a second there, but I like it.
Okay.
All right, we've got a couple more
Yeah.
coming down the line.
All right.
I have created a monster.
Ooh.
So this is the ultimate creation. You have all of the best parts of all of the best animals. You have the claw of a crab. You have the tentacle of an octopus. You have the feet of a satyr. You have the neck of a giraffe, the eye of a beholder, and you have the abs of man.
Abs of man.
Everything you need as a druid.
Ever.
That's a fair point. Who
Yeah.
says a druid can only wild shape into one at a time?
No, they're thinking too
right.
small.
Yeah.
So if you're a small thinking druid,
Yeah.
If you for small newspapers.
Send
Eat the
that
giraffe
down.
next so you can eat all the best leaves.
And
oh,
and Max, who do we have here?
My
Aw.
6-year-old and I are going into aquatic books, and she found a giant squid. It apparently has the biggest eyeball ever of all animals on the earth.
Huh.
So yeah, I just thought you turn into one, flop on the floor, clothes fall
I'm a
off,
giant
And you have the
squid.
biggest eyeball in all
and
of
you've got
all
the
of Earth.
biggest eyeball
Yeah.
ever.
True.
Best.
I remember
best.
there was a tactic, a strategy, maybe a couple editions ago, where you would summon a monster, and it would be a whale, because whale was on the list, but you wouldn't summon it in an aquatic environment.
You would just have it like crush things?
In the dungeon to like block the hallway.
Nice.
They gotta fight their way through.
They gotta, yes.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if that,
Pretty good.
but would a druid be comfortable summoning a whale knowing that's what it was?
I had a character that would have like
that's
I had a character with a summon horse spell, and you just use that to look for traps.
Like run.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just summon a horse, you slap it on your ass, and it goes down the hall, and then it explodes. And you're like, oh, guess there were traps.
Wasn't
There
a
were
real
traps.
horse?
Yeah, I think they're from like the astral plane or something, wherever horses come from.
They come from the plains.
He doesn't know that in the real world.
Yeah, it's like all normal horses. They spontaneously
they just
generate in fields.
appear.
All right. Well, again, if your druid is
We
looking
good?
for their next wild shape to perform for fun or excitement or for urgent need, we've got some great new contenders. All right. So we've got thanks to everyone in the chat who was giving us their suggestion for monsters, classes, or monsters with classes for question number 2. This is going to get complicated real fast
Oh boy.
because I'm realizing it's not just drawing the thing itself. Maybe it is. But this was Kalu Kaleo Fabulous. Oh God, Fabulous Day.
That can't be right.
If it's
It's literature, damn it.
it's not C.S. Lewis, it was Lewis Carroll, right?
Yeah.
This is the from Vorpal.
Yeah, he made up all his words.
It was. I remember having to study this poem in high school and realizing, oh, you can make up.
Yeah, you can just
You can just
say whatever. It's
If
a
you
real
don't
word.
know it, look it up. You should.
Yes, I am.
You don't have to be able to pronounce it, but you need to know it.
At what point do you need to know this? Besides this exact situation.
The Jabberwocky. I'm
it's from the
humiliated it took
Jabberwock,
me
yeah.
that long to
Yeah.
come up with Jabberwocky. So Kulu Kale, it's the happiest day in this subject's life. What's making them so happy? Now I'll throw out the suggestions, and if one of them strikes your fancy, feel free to select that for happiest day in the life of a flump warlock, a paladin, Yuan-Ti abomination, an Umber Hulk wizard, a reverse drider,
Whoa.
Ew.
My.
a gelatinous cube artificer. See, again, just drawing these things alone is quite the challenge. A Tarask life cleric, a rogue, a steampunk Githyanki, a mind flayer bard, an aboleth paladin, a mind flayer preschool teacher.
These are funnier than anything we're going to draw. Can we just read these for about 10 minutes and go to the next question?
Yeah, chat never fails to respond. So thank you, chat, for you're wonderful. You're horrible.
I'll do the Mind Flayer preschool teacher.
We also have giant crocodile combined with a wind elemental. It's a crocnado. And I think, yes. So Mind Flayer preschool teacher will be going to Matt, Stan, and Max. Anything in that list strike your fancy? You got another
Wow.
vote here for Gelatinous Cube?
What was that one?
We've got one for Gelatinous Cube. We've got one for Gelatinous Cube Artificer.
I'll take the Crocnado.
Okay.
The Artificer.
All right.
Isn't that just a more dangerous Sharknado?
Stop ruining my joke.
Now, see, that's up
You
for
want me to write your jokes for you?
You couldn't do worse.
I'm sure there's like the hardness scale from talc to diamond. I'm sure there's a different version for lethality of animal tornadoes.
Yeah, how lethal this animal would be in a tornado.
Like Sharknado, sure, that's near the top of
Very
the spectrum.
dangerous.
Where does a Crocnado fall on that spectrum? Again, so thank you, chat, for your suggestions. This was this could also fall into the next the next question. Who thought that was a good idea? But this was Kalu Kaleo Fabrus Day.
Frabjus.
You don't know. It's not a real word. You can't know how to pronounce it.
Dave Gross would kill you. Former editor of Dragon Magazine, longtime editor, who goes under the name Frabjus Dave.
Okay.
He will have, hey, it's almost like we planned it. He will have a piece of fiction in the next issue of Dragon Plus.
Will he?
Yes.
Well, how's that for good timing?
We've been working with Lee over at Beamdog, and we've got a Dave Gross story from Baldur's Gate that he'll be including in this issue coming up. So a couple other announcements as our artists are under work right now. We'll have some live streamer news that we wanted to let everyone know about. Greg Tito is off-site today, so he will not be here for D&D news. Filling in will be Nathan Stewart, Senior Brand Director. So D&D News will be in more than capable hands. That will be coming up shortly after Dragon Plus wraps up about 3 o'clock today. So stay tuned for Nathan on D&D News. Followed by...
Is he going to give stuff away? He tends to give stuff away.
That will be reserved for spoiler... Oh, no.
Did I just spoil his show?
No, you reminded me that he will be doing a quick sweepstakes giveaway during D&D News, so do stay tuned for that. Spoilers and swag, the first Friday of the month, he will be spoiling and swagging things out. Then at 4 p.m., Dice Camera Action returns, and we have the special announcement from Holly Conrad. She has been working in conjunction with D&D Beyond for Strix's Chickenfoot Coven contest. And this was where you were applying to be a new member of Strix's Coven.
Sounds dangerous.
It does. But it was an awesome contest. It was sort of creating these wacky applicants to join. D&D Beyond was helping to facilitate and run that contest, and Holly has chosen, I believe, the 3 winners, which we will be announcing, I believe, at the start of the show at 4 p.m. So if you were an applicant, do stay tuned, and good luck to everyone who entered. We'll be announcing those winners, and I think on behalf of myself and Pelham, if you are announced as a winner, expect a message coming to you from the D&D Twitter channel. We'll be looking to get some of your contact information so that we can reach out to you and make sure that you've got the technical setup needed so that we can get you on the Dice Camera Action episode on which you will be guest starring. If memory serves, that will be the beginning of November.
October 2nd.
Oh, October 2nd. Oh, it's coming up.
It's coming up real fast.
So
It is.
next week.
Very soon. It's a week away.
I couldn't believe it was the end of September as fast as it was.
No.
God, October's here? I'm used to seeing the holiday stuff in Target way, way early, but now it's like, oh, I guess I do need to think about Halloween costumes.
Yes.
We have some returning shows that will be coming back to the schedule. Rivals of Waterdeep has already returned. We in their usual slots, Sundays, 10 a.m. Pacific. So they are back for season 2. In addition, we are pleased to let you know that Sirens of the Realms will be returning in early October. Girls Guts Glory mid-October, and the Inkwell Society will be returning late October. And again, those should be back in their usual days and time slots. We'll be updating our Twitch calendar pretty quick here. That was on my big list of things to do and neglected to do yet.
We still love you.
You are forgiven.
There you go.
Plus, I know Chris Perkins had sort of put this out into the community on Twitter last week about how you might be interested in live streaming, whether to start up a live stream game or to propose a show for the D&D Twitch channel. So we got a lot of good questions and feedback and suggestions and interest from that. So really what it comes down to is, at this point, what we want to do is compile sort of a best practices and guidelines set of documentation so that we can get that out so we can have something a little bit tangible for folks to reference to help answer questions, give advice, and give a little insight into considerations we have for, hey, if you're interested in doing this, and we love that you are interested in doing this, how you can get started and how you can take part. So yeah, very worthwhile and valuable conversation that we're pleased to continue.
It's like you guys are thinking, planning, and wanting to help the community. That's craziness.
We do. We love our community. It's not just for the goofy suggestions on our Twitch chat, but the D&D community, and this is because many of them are watching now, but we sincerely and truly love our D&D community, and folks who play the game are a part of our big extended family, and so it's fun to be a good community to be a part of. That's my setup for my next segment's pitch for Extra Life. So again, folks are working on Kalu Kalay. It's the happiest day in the life of blank. But what is making them so happy? Or what are they? I guess that's the question. So Stan is working on the giant crocodile wind elemental. Max is working on the gelatinous cube artificer. And Matt, a little too eagerly, chose the Mind Flayer preschool teacher.
Not everything with a Mind Flayer is sinister.
Well.
And again, some other fine suggestions. A reverse Drider.
Matt's first.
So the happiest day in a Mind Flayer preschool teacher's life is obviously graduation day.
Oh,
See,
That's why he went into teaching.
yeah, see, it's about molding young minds, not for eating them.
That comes later.
Yeah, that's when they're adults and can defend themselves properly in a dungeon. Right now, he just wants to make sure they go to college, have a good life.
So is this like a two-part evil genius? The Mind Flayer wants them to be like as smart as possible and their minds as developed as possible. So later in life, they're as tasty as possible.
If you want to be cynical about it, sure.
That's just a
But
happy
sometimes
byproduct.
people just want to foster young generations. Make sure everybody gets the tools they need to do well in life.
And here I am trying to steer your happy cartoon.
Just because they're brain-eating monsters doesn't mean they're bad.
Well, it kind of does.
And Stan, what do we?
All right. Well, we have the giant crocodile elemental. His happiest day was when he realized he wasn't the only one. When he met the Sharknado.
Yay! Oh, it's a play date. Oh, everyone could use a good play date. What now? Okay, now what does a Sharknado and a Crocnado do for fun? What board game would they most likely play?
Twister, obviously.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, there you go.
Kaboom!
Well done.
This is
Right
why we invited Matt
that
on. All right. Oh, yeah.
And Max, what are we looking at here?
It's a gelatinous cube on its birthday,
Aw.
and it made its own cake, but I don't know which is which. It could
Made
be
the cake out of
either.
itself.
It could, yeah. Well, yeah. Could, yeah.
Aw. Can a gelatinous cube blow out the candles on a cake? Or would it just engulf them?
Yeah, it could put them out.
yeah.
I like to think that they just kind of get a little air bubble and then squeeze it out. And
Yeah. is pretty good.
It's like GAC, you know,
Yeah.
from school, where it make the fart noises where you put your hand into it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, again, this could be the happiest day in the life of everyone not named Dave Gross, because I cannot pronounce
Frabulous.
Jabberwocky.
Frabulous.
Just got a
Frabulous.
Frab?
Yeah.
Just.
I thought there was an
Frabjous.
R in there. Frabulous.
Again, it's not a real word. It's not. There's no pronunciation guide for this.
It could
Neither is Chul.
Yeah, but
Or-
if you pronounce it wrong, Chris Perkins will yell at you.
That's, yes. He's a yeller. No, he's far, far from
Oh no.
Get the disappointed dad whisper.
Well, let's move on from this to, yes, again, who thought that was a good idea? Which also could have held true for that one. So this one, we're going to our artists for their answers, and then we've got time definitely for 2 more questions at least. But this is, who thought that was a good idea? Artisans and craftspeople can be very single-minded folk, pursuing a concept or a design, regardless of its practicality or even functionality. This sounds like me around the house. Their very passion is often enough to imbue these creations with a spark of magic, and soon the world has a new artifact or wondrous item for which no one has any practical use. Can you draw a completely useless magic item?
Completely useless.
It might be delightful. It might be wondrous. It might be
Might be frabulous.
Frabulous. Frabulous.
It might be, yes. It might be Clue or Calais. But again, artisans and craftspeople, there's a little story in this one. Artisans and craftspeople can be very single-minded folk pursuing a concept or design, regardless of practicality or even functionality. However, their very passion is often enough to imbue their creations with a spark of magic. And soon the world has a new artifact or wondrous item, but for which no one has any practical use. So we're looking for some completely useless magic items. Once you've got your concept, I don't want to muddy the waters, but yes, there's some good suggestions coming in and from chat as well. But a birthday cake for a gelatinous cube might be.
Ooh, that has a use though.
I guess that's
It's
true.
for wishing gelatinous cubes birthdays.
A gelatinous cube translator, though.
Ooh.
That.
It just bites you.
Alrighty. So as our artists are working on question number 3, as mentioned, I did want to bring up the events and activities going on around Extra Life. And Stan and I were actually talking before the live stream, before Matt and Max joined us, but there is a common element among everyone seated at this table. And that is all 3 of you are currently working on illustrations for the Extra Life adventure that we do have in the works. So again, this is the Dragon Plus live stream. I say constantly throughout. It is the magazine app available on iOS, Android, and dragonmag.com, always each issue for free. However, for Extra Life, what we wanted to do as part of our Dragon Plus content was actually create an adventure that we would put up on the DMs Guild with the proceeds going entirely to Extra Life. You may have seen a bit of hint and teasing in the works. We were asking for rumors involving the Barrier Peaks a couple of weeks ago on the D&D website. Thanks to everyone who contributed an odd, true or untrue rumor regarding the Barrier Peaks, but this was all in relation to the adventure that we have in the works. So we've collected all of the rumors that you guys have donated. We've combed through the list. created a big table that will be part of the adventure, and we'll pull that out separately as well so folks can take a look at all of that. In addition, we've got a couple of groups on Twitter. We were asking for playtest volunteers, and we had several of you step up. And material is out with them now, so thank you to our playtest volunteers. And again, we asked for volunteers here around Wizards of the Coast for some art as well. And Stan, Max, and Matt all volunteered to contribute pieces. Max, you were showing me a beautiful piece for one of the NPCs today. And Stan had a couple he was showing me, so I'm...
Were they due today?
No. But that's a...
End of the month.
It's a good reminder, though.
Good reminder. We, Extra Life, the official game day is November 3rd, so we're aiming to have this adventure up on the DM's Guild on or around November 3rd, so look for it there. So yeah, anytime through October, we'll be collecting those pieces.
I'll just turn in one of the pieces I do today.
Wait a minute. Speaking of which, Wizards of the Coast will be hosting Extra Life Game Day. We'll be live streaming games here all day on November 3rd on the official Extra Life Day, starting at 11 a.m. with D20 Dames. We'll probably kick things off a little earlier, about 10:30. We'll do some hellos and introductions, but D20 Dames will be starting their first game at 11 a.m. Pacific. Then Adam Lee will be running his game. I'll be a player in that one at 1:30 p.m. And Chris Lindsay will be running the final game of the day at 4 p.m., concluding about 7 p.m. that night. But we're not done there. The following week, a lot of our live streamers on the channel are dedicating their weekly games to the cause. And again, Alex Kammer, awesome individual up in Madison, Wisconsin, puts together Gamehole Con every year. He is doing that again, of course, this year, November 8th to 11th in Madison. And he has many games in coordination with Extra Life, proceeds going to Extra Life, that will also be live streaming that weekend, including games run by Mike Merles, Chris Perkins, the Adventurers League admins, Stefan Picorni, Rudy Rutenberg, and a couple more. The Saving Throw Show will be doing a game there as well, and tickets, proceeds, and donations will be going to Extra Life. So a big shout out to everyone already. We have the D&D Extra Life page up. We're over 75,000 in donations. It's to a truly good cause for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. So folks that are able to contribute in any capacity, thank you so much. To folks that already have, it is supremely appreciated. If you're interested in taking part, you can always create your own page as part of the D&D team to play games on your own or raise money however you see fit. And again, it goes to a super great cause. For my page, I made donations. I also wanted to make sure that I called out the donors on the Dragon Plus live stream. So thanks again to Jen Roth, to Forrest Emerson, Stabby Quest of the Stabby Quest podcast, Mick Chambers, and Ben Carver. Thank you for your donations. I now am required to play a cleric, and I am required to play with a Movember mustache.
Oh.
That was one of my donation rewards.
Nice.
I didn't know you could grow a mustache.
I cannot.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to get one by November? I've seen you try before.
It's not pretty.
You should have gone in this. Should have started in the spring.
It's I can grow real light facial hair, but I will at least grow one for the cause.
One hair.
One facial hair.
Single long facial hair.
Right. It's not thick coverage, but it's long in its own.
Yes.
And also thanks to Shelley Mazanoble, who contributed to my page as well. Uh,
I'm guessing it wasn't her idea for the mustache.
I think Pelham was just using the camera to zoom in on my light hair coverage, so I'm already
Nice.
feeling the heat. And I can see it now. It's horrible. And all the food in my teeth from lunch. We should never have a camera with this fidelity zooming in on my face.
Everybody's worst nightmare is high def.
But yeah, Shelly has bought the companion I need to have as part of my character, and that she's got a poll up on Twitter right now. I think the contestants, the final two, it's either a flatulent baby hippopotamus or a flump with an accent and a mustache. All right, we've got our first round of answers coming in. For God's sakes, get the camera off me. And Stan, who are we looking at now?
We're looking at the world's first bobblehead golem.
Oh, nice.
So this was draw a completely useless magic item. And while the artificer or wizard has brought this to life, the bobblehead golem not too pleased.
Not so happy, you know. He didn't buy in for this. He didn't.
You know, but that I could see that as an actual piece of
Yeah.
D&D merchandise. Now that you,
Well,
kinda want-
now we
kinda
got
want
proof
that
that I'm no longer with the company, so you owe me something.
Get some royalties.
oh, that was the other thing. For everyone who donated to my page, I've been sending off a original doodle. We've been collecting these throughout the many months. So donate
again,
to.
we're working and you're reaping the benefits.
I am.
I know Children's Miracle Network is reaping the benefits.
Yes.
I'm okay with
There
it.
you go.
So donate to my Extra Life page and receive an original Dungeons and Doodles doodle, personally mailed. And Matt, is this one yours coming in?
Yeah, this is mine. I improved upon the bag of holding. Now it is the bag of holding snakes. It holds what I would call an unkindness of snakes.
Is that the official term for a plural of the plural noun of snakes? Is
When
it
they're
unkind?
when you don't.
Yeah, I'm
expect
going to say it is.
good.
A murder of snakes, a swarm, a hive. Any bad group you can think of, just use that to describe snakes.
Now, if you're a recipient for the bag of holding snakes, is like the snakes in parentheses, you don't know they're in there until you open it up, and bam!
It looks like a normal bag of holding, then you open it and just snake, and then it starts laughing at you.
And it starts laughing.
Yeah.
Because if it was laughing before you open it, that might be a giveaway.
Yeah, that might tip you off.
Hey,
Hey, maybe
don't-
don't open the bag.
Has anyone in the history of novelty items ever opened that can of nuts?
The one with the snakes?
With the snake,
Yes.
and thought, I'm legitimately surprised there is.
I think it's happened, but probably nobody's friends with that guy anymore. If somebody comes to you, it's like, hey man, you want some nuts? And you say yeah, and then just snakes attack you. You're not friends with that dude.
In 1924,
that was the height of
That was-
hilarity.
Gabby McPhee was
It was a Tuesday.
literally taken by surprise. No one else since then.
Gasp.
Get these gosh darn snakes out of this gosh darn.
That's
bag.
right.
Yeah.
Nut can.
Get these flipperty gibbet snakes! Woo 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 woo!
I was expecting nuts. Instead, I have snakes.
And Max, what are we looking at here?
This is a ring of fog detection,
Mm.
but you have to go outside to find the fog, and then it will say fog.
When you're in fog, it's
Yeah,
like,
when you're-
hey,
yeah.
fog detected.
Yeah.
The jewel
Found
gets
it.
like misted over, and it's
Maybe
like
a little-
I gotta wipe it off. It's like my
I
side
suppose, you know,
mirror.
like if you were worried this might be a magical spell or something, and it just goes, no, fog.
No. You're good.
Yeah.
Does it
You're
detect-
standing in it. You know.
Does it detect rain too?
No, this is poison. Oh no.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not telling me it's fog.
You could pivot to useful pretty quickly if it was like a ring of fog summoning, you know, or something.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
yeah, no.
That's how they sell it.
Yeah.
It turns out the ring tells you whether it's foggy.
Oh no, you bought the ring of fog detection.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
Yeah.
a search engine.
Oh,
It's the ring that tells you whether it is currently raining on your head.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we've got time for one more, and I should have been asking this while I was pattering on, but we're going to do one more, Oh, yes, we're looking for another round of monsters. And if folks in chat have we'll definitely pull from the list that was currently suggested. Maybe I should just read the question, and we'll get some candidates here. So for the last question, this was odd couples. Housing is getting more and more expensive, and dungeon delving doesn't always provide a regular paycheck. So sometimes you might just have to take in a roommate. So we're looking for an unlikely pairing of monsters that are now roommates together. So if you've got a single monster that you'd like to add to the list, and we'll throw them out and see if anything strikes your fancy, or if you've got a pair of monsters that you would like to suggest as well. Again, kind of running through what we had last time. The ever popular Flumph. Oh yeah. I'm looking at the Spider Shark right now coming in our chat emotes. Treant, Yuanti, Umber Hulk, Gelatinous Cube, of course, Tarask, Githyanki. Oh yeah, maybe you and the Githyanki and Gith.
Yeah.
The unlikely combination of roommates. Mind Flayer, Aboleth. Here we go. We've got a few more coming in. So we're for a halfling and a cloud giant, a mimic, Etten. Okay, a penguin harpy that just loves chewing on ice. Constructs, owlbear.
Who's in the chat today? What's going on?
A construct and a rust monster. Sturge and vampiric mist. Death Kiss, Boggle. We've got Umber Hulk and Marilith. Boulette or Boulet. Todd Kenrick says Todd. So Todd Kenrick adamantly demands Todd. A Chiron, a Lich, a Gazebo, Iron Golem and Rust Monster, Kenku and a Doppelganger, Modron and Gelatinous Cube. That never ends well. A Galeb Dur and a Zorn. That's an odd choice, because that's actually in the adventure we're working on. Elder Brain and the Soulmonger from Tomb of Annihilation. Sorry, I look at the next one down the list and I get thrown here, because it's a lurker above and a succubus, and somehow the auto mod caught that for naughty language somehow. A lich and a blink dog, a werewolf and this is just a bad pun, a werewolf and a warehouse.
Wah, wah.
So any takers in the list so far?
I'm gonna do the halfling and cloud giant.
Halfling cloud giant.
There's a lot of material in
There was a lot given.
Yeah. I've promised this time and time again. I need to comb through the chat logs and make some great tables after the fact that we'll put up in Dragon Plus as well.
Roll 1d100 and pray you don't get warehouse.
Where bats.
All right, I'm gonna do a combination of things that people said, but I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
Nice.
A Medusa and a Gorgon. We've got Flumph and Bart.
Flumph and Bart.
There was one for Spider Nathan. And Max, did you have a pair that struck your fancy?
I sort of like Gelatinous Cube and Mind Flayer.
Okay.
Is it okay if I use one of those also?
Of course.
All right.
Of course, it's okay.
I'm using one of those.
But we won't say which. It'll be a surprise and a delight.
One hopes.
Again, we love. So this is Odd Couples, two monsters that are new roommates. Pressing need for roommates. Who have they taken on? Oh, the bartering ram. Todd, you're off chat. That's it. That was a. Well. We've got Tabaxi and a swarm of cranium rats.
Ooh, I'd watch that sitcom.
Yes, we've got, for those watching at home, we've got Nathan and Pelham are setting up for D&D news next door. So there's a flurry of activity going on in the background. An Ent and a fire giant. I could see that going bad real quick.
Does anyone have any idea what Todd looks like? Sorry, I'm giving something away.
Todd Kenrick?
Yeah.
Yes. He is on our D&D, well, not ours, but on D&D Beyond's videos. He is a spokesman, host, videographer extraordinaire.
Well, sadly I don't, so sorry, Todd.
Do you have a picture of him in your wallet that we could check?
Too late.
I could pull it up here. Do you really want to know?
Yeah, well, tell me what his hair looks like, I can put that in.
He looks like this gentleman right here.
Oh,
Really?
that's him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I know him.
I know him too. All right, I can work with that.
Hey, you.
Let me see that one more
I
time.
know you.
All right, easy.
So my description can be either very kind or unkind, Mr. Kenrick. No, he is a very tall, handsome fellow with dark hair, glasses, and often a beard.
I'd be his roommate.
Doodle-doo-doo. So again, Odd Couples. Housing is getting more and more expensive, and dungeon delving doesn't provide a regular paycheck. So sometimes you just have to take in a roommate. Show us what life would be like with these unlikely pairings. And thanks to everyone for their suggestions so far. Thrycreen and Intellect Devourer.
Ooh.
Got some.
That's more like a dude and his pet, then.
A werewolf and silverware golem. We love a fine joke and pun.
See, that's the problem with some of these gags like this. It takes the audience a while to kind of zoom in on, oh, that's what we should be saying.
I know.
Meanwhile, we're already drawing.
I have to course correct sometimes because I realize, yes, if they know the topic, they're going to have great suggestions versus the open-ended, just a monster. So we've got Flail Snail and a fine plateware shop.
Ooh.
That would go wrong real quick. Drider and a centaur, an Elithid and a myconoid. Todd and the Dread Gazebo.
Dread Gazebo?
There, Stan, you probably know that story.
Yeah, it's from an old Knights of the Dinner Table strip.
Yeah.
I think it had to do with an actual play session where one of the players just wasn't aware of what a gazebo was.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the dungeon master said, hey, in the distance you see a gazebo on the hillside.
Kill it.
Kill it. I attack it. And
That's on like the same level of vintage as Magic Missile of the Darkness and all that.
Right, except it apparently really happened.
Are you telling me Magic Missile of the Darkness didn't?
there's a few classics.
Don't break my heart, Stan.
Well, that one's from a video
Yeah.
that they put together back in the day. And Head of Vecna, that's also a fine classic. So we're getting close to the top of the hour, so we will conclude in great and glorious fashion with the creations when they're ready. But in the meantime, again, just wanted to mention that following Dragon Plus and this episode of Dungeons and Doodles, we'll be moving on to Nathan Stewart and the D&D News, filling in for Greg Tito today. Stick around for Dice Camera Action at 4 p.m. Pacific, with Holly Conrad announcing the 3 winners of the D&D Beyond and Strix's Chickenfoot Coven contest. Next week, I believe we will be returning. We've been calling the Dragon Plus episodes sessions with Jeremy Crawford sort of Design Plus. So Jeremy Crawford is now out of the final stages of the products. Him and all of the D&D team have been heads down working on diligently, and we will have Jeremy Crawford in for next week as well. He might pull out one of the new magic items that we have going into the Extra Life Adventure to do a bit of development work live on camera to take a look at that as well. And if you're familiar with the Barrier Peaks, you could probably make a guess at what that might be. In any case, we're looking forward to Jeremy's return next week on Dragon Plus. Mentioning Dice Camera Action, folks have been sending in their fan art submissions to, we have our mailbox up and running, dndfanart@wizards.com is open for business. So if you've got fan art for Dice Camera Action that you'd like to submit, please send it in to us, and we'll be doing some periodic slideshows at the beginning of Dice Camera Action to showcase that. All right, so we're getting to our first answer. Stan, what do we have?
We've got Gelatinous Cube, Mimic, and Todd.
Nice. Nice.
Todd can't find the remote control.
You know what's the most delightful part about this to me is the secret that Todd Kenrick has a old school picture tube television.
Oh, really?
Really?
Okay, wow.
As
Yes.
clearly as
Yes.
depicted here.
You know all the
With
Todd
rabbit
Kenrick
ears and
lore.
everything.
The
That's-
secret's out.
The lore.
The lore of Todd Kenrick.
So Todd, we're going to be holding this this doodle for ransom. You have to donate to Extra Life.
Yeah.
We'll send it
You
your
have
way.
to donate extra if you want a specific one.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we're going to be doing that. We mentioned the week of after November 3rd, that following week, we're going to be donating or dedicating our live stream shows to the Extra Life cause. I believe that's when we're going to be doing the November Dungeons and Doodles. So we'll find some ways for folks to take part, whether it's suggesting topics in advance, suggesting some subjects or other material, and finding ways to tie it into to Extra Life. Again, as our answers are coming in, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for spending this last hour with us. We love having you on the Dragon Plus live stream. We love interacting with you in chat. Thanks to our channel followers and subscribers as always. Thanks to our moderators. We see Obo Crazy in chat. Thanks to all of her work and to all of the moderators for taking part. And yes, again, Clerical Error is taking part in Extra Life as well. They are dedicating their Wednesday game to the cause, and they do have a page up as well, donating money in an interesting way for lots of zany spell effects as things go along.
Okay.
All right, I think
You're
we're
up next.
Number 2.
we're coming to number 2. Matt Warren, thank you for joining us on Dungeons and Doodles.
Yeah, this was super fun.
More fun than when Shelley Mazanoble defeated you and
Yeah, I'm not going to cry after this, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not going to spend 20 minutes in the shower just weeping after this. Already it's a good day.
So who's our strange odd
So
couple here?
this is the halfling and the cloud giant, and the halfling is obviously just being a bad roommate. Like, you put the steak in the fridge, it's obvious that it's the cloud giant steak. You can put his name on it.
Yeah. I clearly labeled my side of the fridge.
This is me drawing my college experience, basically.
You know, I got to say, a halfling would love to live with a cloud giant
Oh,
for just
yeah.
this reason.
Right.
Yeah. He's got like 4 more weeks of steak left on that thing.
And Max Marshall, again, thank you for joining us. It's your first time on the Dragon Plus live stream. It's a pleasure to have
Very
you.
fun.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful. I am honored.
And what is our cartoon that you created for Odd Couples here?
Mind Flayer and Gelatinous Cube fighting over the remote.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Obviously.
There you go.
There are only 2 roommate conflicts in the
And
world.
kind of like the same couch. That could be the mimic back there.
So what I'm
Terrific.
learning today is that Todd Kendrick's secretly a mind flayer, and has an old school.
It's an old school
Yes,
TV.
old.
Well, maybe
Old.
Todd kicked the gelatinous cube out. And gelatinous cube is living with his buddy, and now.
Oh, that explains it. That's
Yeah.
why the Gelatinous Cube was looking for a new roommate.
Yeah.
What, in some way. it
Look at
didn't
this
go-
lore.
Yes. The backstory writes itself.
Yeah.
Todd Kendrick's lore.
Campaign.
Well, thanks everyone. It's the top of the hour, 3 o'clock. You've all suffered through another Dungeons and Doodles. No, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for taking part. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Stick around for D&D news and look for these gentlemen will have illustrations in the Dragon Plus Extra Life adventure that will be up at the beginning of November. So,
Yeah.
Very
Awesome.
exciting.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
all right. Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.